Hello there, you're watching the pre-Christmas edition of The Breakdown, seen exclusively at ATV.ca and A Sports Extra. I'm Norman James, along with Brent Lail and Merrick Sutherland. So, Peterborough Minor Hockey Association coach Greg Walsh is back in the game, reinstated by the Ontario Minor Hockey Association after being suspended because he decided or had the audacity to pull his team off the ice when he heard a racial slur coming from his team's opposition. A lot has been made about Greg Walsh and what he did. I think he should be applauded for doing what he did, and I think he shouldn't have been suspended in the first place. The good thing here is he's back on the ice. The bad thing, the OHMA has some explaining to do. Merrick, do you fall in line with me here, or do you think Greg went over the line pulling his team off when he heard this racial slur?
No way, absolutely not. And I think there's nothing like a topic like this to get everybody fired up right before Christmas. But no, Greg Walsh did absolutely what any coach, you always hear coaches talk about one heartbeat, one entity, whatnot, right? He proved it in that you say that to one of our players, saying it to all of us, and he took them all off. Absolutely applaud him. The OMHA, while they have gotten around to doing the right thing, probably shouldn't have taken it to this step. Going behind the Hockey Canada rules was wrong. They should have stood up and said, you know what he did, we applaud. We're going to take this and make a policy so it doesn't happen again.
What are the rules? That's the thing. What are the rules? Just endure it? Just go for it? Racial slurs be damned?
Yeah, I think there are cases like this where the rules need to be looked at and taken on a different, grain of salt than what it says specifically written in the rule book. There are times I can see if you pull a coach or a team off the ice and you forfeit a game, that's against the rules. That's one thing. But when a scenario like this comes up, common sense needs to prevail, and basically, being a good person and being good people and promoting what minor hockey should be all about needs to prevail. And finally, after this whole drawn-out process, they've got it right today.
It's about protecting your players, and you protect your players any way you possibly can. Who cares what the rules say?
Well, and that was the thing, is that when they came out with their original ruling, the guy from the OMHA said that they were two separate incidents, the slur and him taking off his team off the ice. Well, they're not two separate incidences, and it was stupid to even consider it that way.
It's weird. Hockey's just such a game where you're going to have guys who don't think too much. It's all about machismo. It's all about, well, you have to be able to get out there and do it because you're a man and you have to take it and shut up. And in this circumstance, you have to think a little bit. This kind of stuff, racial slurs coming at your guys, is absolute nonsense. If you've had enough, pull your team off the ice. You're making a statement that way. Forget the rules. What the OHMA and Hockey Canada has to do is take a look at what it's drafted and say, you know what, maybe this isn't the right way about going at it. Now, I will say the kid who, I guess, committed the incident and who actually made the slurs was suspended 3 games.
That's it. And the coach as well from that team.
Yeah, and then the coach. So they got 3 games. But the Greg Walsh, for pulling his team off the ice in protest, was going to get an entire season. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. Who cares what the rules say? Take a look at the rules and rewrite them.
Exactly. And in that incident, Greg Walsh didn't pull his team off right away. He waited to see what the other coach was going to do. And when the other coach sat his player for a little while and then allowed him to come back on the ice, that's when he said, okay, wait a minute. If this coach isn't going to do anything, I'm going to take it upon myself to do it. And that's where everything.
Can you imagine something like this happening in the NHL? I mean, we've had alleged incidents where a player would commit, either an infraction or say something that rubbed somebody the wrong way, and it was blown up in the media, and that player's head was supposed to be on a platter, and the NHL was supposed to do something about it. These guys are making millions of dollars, and it is a big top league where players aren't going to be very forgiving. So in a lot of ways, you can look at it and almost, I wouldn't say let it go, but you can understand how this is going to happen. When it comes to minor hockey, these are kids. No tolerance at all. And unfortunately, the situation happened. Greg Walsh didn't see enough, in terms of anything evolving in terms of punishment from that incident. So he said, I'm going to take it upon myself and make it happen. And you know what? The guy should be applauded. I'd like to see more coaches do that. If they don't think the situation is right, make a change.
And the way he handled himself throughout the entire process, a true gentleman. I mean, he took it courteous. He accepted his punishment as if he would do it again if it happened next year.
I think the sad thing is, in the big picture, is when you realize that this stuff is still going on, even amongst teenagers. You know, it's in 2010, approaching 2011, and stuff like this is still being said on the ice. Even if it's a young kid making a mistake, I can't believe it's still happening.
Guys, just a couple of quick things. The London Knights pick up a pair of wins heading into the Christmas break, so they are believing that they can be a playoff team in the first part of 2011 real fast. Is that the case for the London Knights, or should they tear this thing down and rebuild? We've been going on about it.
Yeah, I think the issue is somebody has to want what they have to be able to tear down and rebuild to a certain extent. I think this team will likely finish 6th, 7th in the Western Conference if they stand pat with the way they are right now, and maybe a first round upset, but right now I can't necessarily see them any further than that.
I give them probably anywhere between 6th and 9th, because I still don't think that if they play the way they did on Friday against someone sound, they'll be in, and they'll be scary to play against in the playoffs. However, they have to do that. I mean, the West is wide open. We were talking about this earlier. A 7 could knock off a 2 this year.
You got to make things happen, though,
Yep.
and we've seen this team go through the first half of a season and not make things happen. 10 seconds each. Do the Leafs come around before the Knights, or vice versa?
Oh, wow.
Quick.
Knights before the Leafs.
Yeah, I would say that's how hopeless I think the Leafs are.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll just have to see what happens. We wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Stay safe and stay warm if you can. We'll catch you next time on The Breakdown.